Father Nilo Makapinlak, and our MC, Mr. Ted Tuason, Consul General Esmeralda Angulos, and her better half, Mr. Angulos. Congen is the best half, of course. And my esteemed colleague, Consul General Neil Ferer, Attorney Richard Mallet, and Mr. Richard Do. I understand that you're generous benefactors of the Filipino community. Thank you for all your time. Leaders of the Filipino organizations in Edmonton and the members, mga kababayan, good evening. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate Conjen Agbulos for a job well done, which we recognize in the Department of Foreign Affairs and the Philippine government. And as such, she has been reappointed as the Honorary Consul General of the Philippines in Edmonton. Palakpakan po natin.
10 more years.
Since her appointment as Honorary Consul General in 2003, Conjen Agbulos has rendered excellent service and assistance to the Filipino community in Edmonton. She has worked closely with her supervising post, the Philippine Consulate General in Vancouver, in rendering efficient consular services to the Filipino community across northern Alberta and nearby areas. I would also like to thank her for the ATN services, assistance to national services that she has rendered to our countrymen who have needed her help. It will be, as mentioned earlier, her office rendered assistance in the repatriation of the remains of the 4 Filipino temporary foreign workers who died in a car accident in November 2014 at Leduc County, Alberta. Edmonton Consulate General also assisted in the repatriation of the remains of another three Filipino temporary foreign workers in Rocky Mountain House who met a similar vehicular accident in December near Sylvan Lake in Alberta. In both cases, Conjen Agbulos was able to coordinate with the employers of the victims for the repatriation of their remains. She also met the lawyer for the compensation of the victims, and a trust fund was created to support the families of the victims. I would like to also take this opportunity to congratulate you for bringing the biggest delegation in the Winter Escapade 2, which was held from January to 22 February 20. I was in that group, and we went to Cebu, to Dumaguete, to Bohol, and to Siquijor. I think Conjen Agbulos brought 56 winter escapees, and we hope that next year we will be bringing even more, 100 as you said. I should like to just mention that the Philippine Embassy in Ottawa is working closely with the Department of Tourism and the tour operator for next year's winter escapade. We are looking to have this possibly in the Bicol area plus Palawan. Having said that, we hope that more will be coming to join our group, and we will be announcing the details soon, as soon as these are finalized. I am here to participate in the tour of the ASEAN Association of Southeast Asian Nation ambassadors to Canada. As you know, ASEAN is an organization of 10 countries in our part of the world, consisting of pag may na-miss out ako Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, Singapore, Malaysia, Brunei, Laos, Myanmar, Vietnam, Cambodia. Nasabi ko ba? Kulang. Indonesia. Anyway, it is a community of 650 million people. And at the end of this year, in 2015, we are going to integrate to form the ASEAN Economic Community. This is a very important development because we will become, it is one of the biggest and fastest growing parts of the world with a combined GDP of more than $2.4 trillion. Unfortunately, and on the other hand, while there is not much economic relations between the Philippines and Alberta, I should like to say that we have one of the biggest communities here of 113,000 Filipinos as of 2011. Therefore, coming here with the ambassadors of ASEAN to Canada was very timely for me. First of all, gusto ko kayong ma-meet kasi balita ko that you are one of the most valued communities here in this province. And of course, Alberta is the economic powerhouse of Canada. Kaya noong when we had this opportunity, we were sa Ottawa, we are 7 ASEAN ambassadors, but only 5 was able to make it. We had the opportunity to meet the officials of Alberta, led by Premier Jim Prentice. I should like to say that it's a good time to be the Philippine Ambassador to Canada because everyone told me how much they value the Filipino community's contribution to the economic development of Alberta. Siyempre ako proud din. I always emphasize the important contributions that you are making to the development of this province, which is actually the one that is driving the economic growth of the country. And as I said earlier, unfortunately, while there is not much economic trade between the two countries, I think it's only 80 million Canadian dollars this year, but it is expected that with the growing Filipino community here and the strong people-to-people relations, it's only a matter of time before the trade relations between Alberta and the Philippines will be strengthened. Plus, Philippine Airlines is the only airline that flies directly between Canada and ASEAN. So it is only logical that they will be able to come to the region through the Philippines. And I understand Philippine Airlines flies to Vancouver, to Toronto, and on Sunday it will fly to New York, diba? So having said that, I look forward to a time when the relations between Canada and the Philippines will be even stronger and characterized by more and more economic cooperation between the two countries. We also had the opportunity to look at the startup Edmonton. And doon ko nakita na I could really be proud of the Filipinos. There is an organization sponsored by the city government, and the one who heads that is a young Filipino, and a Filipino-Canadian, of course. And the other ambassadors in the group were very impressed with him. Mr. Ken Bautista, no? He was really quite impressive, very committed to his work, and you could see that he was really doing much for the community here in Canada. Mga kababayan, you can be proud of the Philippines. It's a good time to be a Filipino, as I said. It is the fastest growing economy in our part of the world, second only to China, having grown at 6.1%, despite Typhoon Haiyan, which struck us in 2013, but in all of 2014, we were able to reach a growth of 6.1%. Also, our population is relatively young and very economically productive. As they say, we have reached our demographic sweet spot. Most of our young people are driving the economy, working in BPOs, in call centers, and also being young entrepreneurs. When you go home to the Philippines, makikita mo talagang it is alive, life is good. But at the same time, as Conjen Agbulo said, we cannot also help but say thank you to Canada for all that it has done for us. I would just like to note, since this is my first time to speak before you, I'd just like to say thank you for all you did for the Philippines in Typhoon Yolanda. I understand that Alberta contributed 500,000 Canadian dollars, just the government. And of course, your contribution was much dollar for dollar by the government. So it was more than $1 million. I'm happy to inform you that the National Economic Development Authority has announced that the reconstruction and rehabilitation of Leyte and the areas that were hit by Typhoon Haiyan, they have rolled out a plan called the Rehabilitation Assistance for Yolanda, or RAY. It is predicted that it is expected that about 361 billion Philippine pesos will be required to reconstruct these areas. It will require infrastructure, schools, agriculture, buildings, of course, and other construction that would be needed to restore the province and to build back better. Our need is for reconstruction rather than disaster preparedness. So, siguro, and this will be, of course, open to investment. So, having said that, I would just like to also close by reminding you that in May 2016, magkakaroon ho tayo ng halalan, election. Many of you are, I think, dual citizens, so Filipinos pa rin. I hope that you will register to vote, participate in this very important political exercise in choosing our leaders. Alam nyo, the Filipinos in Canada are known to be the intelligentsia, and I'm not flattering you. It's really a fact. Yan ang pinag-uusapan sa Foreign Service. And maybe this is your way of giving back to your country, exercise your right to vote, and choose carefully. Maraming salamat po. Thank you very much.
Okay, so right now we're with a very special guest, the Ambassador Petronila Garcia. Now, Petronila, tell me about the event tonight and the purpose behind the meeting for the Alberta Consulate General.
Well, the event tonight was a very, very important opportunity for me to meet the Filipino community in Edmonton, although that was just a small fraction of the 50,000 Filipinos in Edmonton. We consider them a decided asset to our community in the whole of Canada. We know that they are working very hard. They are contributing meaningfully to the economy of Alberta. Tonight's meeting was an introduction because it's my first time to visit this province and to be able to hear from them how we can best serve their interests.
I was talking to Neil Ferer that you saw some technologies that could possibly help improve the economy for the Philippines. Would you mind telling something small about that?
Well, it was a very, very quick visit, but there was one particular technology that I was able to that caught my attention, particularly the renewable energy, the waste to energy technology. As you know, the Philippines is a country with 100 million people, and our economy is really, really growing rapidly at the rate of 6.1%. We are, of course, we have our industries that are
growing.
booming. Yeah, we're really booming. So that sort of technology is important to us because we would like to move away from dump sites. No? What do you call that? So I saw that, and of course, Canada has much to offer us in that sense. Also, I saw today the petroleum industry, the petroleum company. We went to Shell.
Yes.
I was very impressed with the way they really, well, they explained to us the whole thing, although it was quite technical.
Exactly, and we'll try to improve with the new technology, going to move forward in through the Philippines to make the economy run better and more efficient, right?
Right, and well, we know that Alberta is looking for markets, new markets. So we in the Philippines, we have a market of 100 million, but I'd like to point out that ASEAN is about to integrate the economy in 2015, and we will be a market of 650 million people with a GDP of over $2.4 trillion.
That's a lot. Thank you so much for having the small time to talk with us. Ladies and gentlemen, Petronila Garcia, Ambassador of Philippines. Welcome back to Hydra TV. I'm now with the owner of the Palabok House who hosted this beautiful event. Thank you so much. And how was it like planning for the event for Her Elegancy, the Ambassador?
We used to plan this kind of event, but we are so glad and lucky that we met the ambassador of the Canada, and I am so grateful to meet her, and we are so happy actually when we doing the setting up earlier. We have to prepare very nicely. Normally our venue here is not look like this, so it's more presentable at this time. So because of Ambassador Patricia. Okay.
And how was the food?
Oh, the food was excellent. Actually, I wanted to say that I was very happy to come here. It's always a pleasure to be able to come to establishments run by Filipinos because I think that we should encourage entrepreneurship. And this is an example of what a Filipino can do as an immigrant. There's a huge community, there's a huge market, and
Yes.
I'm sure that you have a very good market for your food.
Yes, we've been here for about 21 years. So
Wow.
yeah, well, thank you to all the communities of Filipino community in Edmonton for supporting us. Also the Palabok House. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So, like I said earlier, this is the ambassador representing from the Philippines and also the owner of the Palabok House hosting this wonderful event. Hydra TV signing out.